think we're going under.
I think I got something. I think I got it. Oh my gosh, here it comes. Look at this. Look at this. Woo! We got it. We landed the big fish. Shiver me timbers.
Octopus finally learned how to cook it. For a long time, I messed up cooking octopus. It was always coming out chewy. Every time I go to a restaurant, I'd be like, how in the world do they do this? Well, finally learned how to cook it. And it's just like barbecue. You just cook it till it's done. So what we did here was we cooked the octopus fully in a stewing liquid that had lots of citrus in it. Once it was done, we took it and we grilled it off in our fireplace to get a nice char, a little bit of smoke to add another texture and another layer of flavor. Then we slathered it with our homemade chimichurri sauce. So first things first, we decided to salt and dry brine the octopus. Now there's two schools of thought on this. One, it could make the octopus even more chewy and more rubbery. Or the flip side is it could add moisture to the octopus and add some additional briny flavor to it. So either way, there's no going wrong really with it. But just make sure you salt all the surfaces. We put it in the fridge for about 4 hours. And whether it made a difference or not, I really don't know. So once we dry brine it, we then take it and we thoroughly rinse it off under cold water in the sink. Make sure to get every nook and cranny that's in the octopus, and there's quite a few of them. Make sure you get the head cleaned out and the legs wiped off good. If you're a little squeamish, you may want to turn away for a little bit. We're just going to cut the eyes out from the head with a very sharp knife, and it's very simple and easy to do and not really disgusting at all. But if you decide to watch, here's how you do it. And there we go. No problem. Eyes are out. Dry brined, rinsed off, and now we make our stewing liquid. So we fill up a pot with cold water. We add about 1 teaspoon of black peppercorns. If you want to add more, add more. We did about 1 teaspoon of whole coriander seeds, and then we added a tablespoon of tahini seasoning, which has a lot of citrus, a lot of lime in it. A bunch of bay leaves, I roughly estimated about 10. I love my umami powder, so we put a tablespoon of that in. Feel free to put MSG in if you prefer. We added 1 tablespoon of citrus seasoning from a local market. And then we take a lemon and we squeeze a whole lemon in the stewing liquid along with the lemon itself. And next thing we do is something a little different. We take a chunk of applewood and we put it in our fireplace. And what we want to do is we want to get it just charred up a little bit to start bringing out some of those oils and some of that flavor from the applewood. So once the applewood is charred up enough, we then take it and we douse it in cold water, and then we add that to our stewing liquid. Now I think there's a tradition, I believe it's in Italy, where they put a wine cork in their octopus stewing liquid. Instead of a wine cork, I decided to put in a piece of charred cherry. So we get that to a roaring boil, and then we take our octopus and very gently we dip it in 3 times or 4 times. First time we dip it in, we just want to get those edges curled up a little bit. And I think the purpose of this is to prevent the legs from sticking together. So we dip it in a second time, then we dip it in a third time for about 1 or 2 seconds, pull it out, and as you'll see, the legs are separated nicely. And then the last dunk is the full dunk, and under we go. So we got our fireplace cranking. You see a lot of blue flame there. It is a very, very hot fireplace. And then once the octopus is done, and it takes roughly 20 minutes per pound, but what you can do is you can continue to check the octopus with a fork. And when it goes in relatively easily and comes out relatively easily, that's when you know your octopus is ready to go. So here's our chimichurri sauce. You can find any recipe online to make a chimichurri sauce. But we had some leftover. I was just freshening it up here with some more olive oil, some lemon, some garlic paste, and some fresh parsley. So there it is. And then we take our octopus after it's cooked and cooled off a little bit, and we douse it with a lemon. You can quarter it up at this point and serve it as a meal, or you can take it and do what we did and cut off the legs and grill them off. So we cut the legs off of the octopus, just separate them out. They cut very easily. That's another way to tell that it's done nicely. Now granted, we've got a big knife, but any knife would have cut just as easily as well. And there it is. And then the next thing we do is we douse it in oil. I used extra virgin olive oil because that's what I had on hand. If you're going to serve it like this, extra virgin olive oil is great because it's going to add some great flavor. But when you grill it off, you kind of lose that flavor from the extra virgin olive oil. So any olive oil will work for this. Now we take it and place it on a grate. And as soon as you place it on a grate, you should hear that sizzle. Now, can't keep it on here for too long because the octopus is already cooked. And right now, all we want to do is get a good char. So since we have a really hot fire and we've got oil on the octopus, getting a char in there is quite simple. So you put it on, I'd say maybe 2 minutes, and then you start checking your octopus to see if it's got that char on it. If it doesn't, leave it on there for another 30 seconds and keep checking. Now this fire was blistering hot. So now we're checking and we're looking, and we do have the char that we want. So flip it over, maybe go another minute or so on the other side. And then at that point, you are ready to pull off your octopus. And you're ready to serve it up with your homemade chimichurri sauce, your spicy chili crisp, or whatever other favorite condiment you like to serve with octopus. So while enjoying the sights and sounds of the octopus grilling in the fireplace, we learned a few things while we were cooking this. And the one thing we did learn was that after the octopus is cooked, before you put it on the grill, it is best to let it cool off for a while. The texture seemed to be a lot better, and it was more firm when we let it cool off for a little bit. So again, I highly recommend that. Let the octopus cool for probably about an hour, and then finish it off on the hot fire, and you'll be good to go.